We have some breaking news to share from British Columbia. A former RCMP officer accused of colluding with China has been found not guilty. The high-profile trial has attracted a lot of attention across Canada and in Asia. The CBC's Georgie Smythe is at the courthouse. She joins us now live. So, Georgie, what happened?
Yeah, well, William or Bill Majcher walked from BC Supreme Court a short time ago, a free man, after being acquitted of those charges. It's almost 3 years after he was accused of committing a preparatory offence under Canada's Security of Information Act. In a judgment, Justice Devlin said that the Crown had not met the burden of proof to prove beyond reasonable doubt that Majcher was preparing to commit a campaign of extortion against a Chinese national who lives in BC. A crime the Crown alleged was an affront to Canadian sovereignty. When that not guilty verdict was read out, Majcher's wife, who was sitting in the gallery with the media, hugged people around her. Her and her husband, Bill, came out and talked to the media after that verdict was read out. Bill told us he was relieved.
I live on the other side of the world and have for the last 20 years. So without my wife and my children especially, they're still of a young age. So they've been 3 years without their father. That's time I'll never get back. They'll never get back. So that's absolutely the hardest part about this is the human element. But now I just want to go home. I want to return to my children. I want to try to rebuild my businesses.
So Bill hasn't been allowed to leave Canada while this trial has been underway. He was asked if he'd received his passport back today during that press conference outside. His wife told us that she has his passport in her bag and they plan to leave Canada.
Now, a lot of the Crown's case rested on an email from Bill Majcher to a colleague. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, a lot of the Crown's case was resting on 2 emails that Majcher had sent a colleague in 2017. And in that email, he mentions a fraudster who was wanted by the Chinese government for financial crimes. The Crown claimed that those emails were what they called part of a constellation of evidence that proved Majcher was planning to coerce that Canadian permanent resident to return to China at the behest of the Chinese government, which is illegal in Canada. Justice Devlin said today in her judgment that that evidence wasn't strong enough. It didn't go far enough in demonstrating that Majcher was planning to commit an offence, the offence that the Crown had alleged. And here's Majcher's lawyer, Ian Donaldson, just reflecting on that intent outside court today.
Nothing, if I give an interview and somebody says, well, here's what Donaldson said in an interview, there's nothing wrong with relying on that. But there needs to be other evidence in addition to that, doesn't there? One has to do certain things with the intention of engaging in coercive or unlawful conduct later. That intention. The specific intent, you can leave the word specific out of it. I have to do things in preparation for engaging in coercive or unlawful behavior. The intention is a critical part of criminal law everywhere, almost everything. Intention matters.
So some really fascinating comments from people at the centre of this intriguing foreign interference case in Vancouver, which ended in a not guilty verdict in Vancouver.
Georgie, thank you. The CBC's Georgie Smythe live in Vancouver.